Hello, how's it going? It's Argo here. Thinking back of 2020 now, since we are on the last day of 2020, one of the probably the worst years, definitely in my lifetime. Um, I wanted to think of something a little bit more positive though. As I was thinking about it, I was like, well, let me go back and think of all the games that I've played this year and kind of rank them and put my top five games of the year together. And, just my thoughts on them. If you haven't played any of these games, it might be just check this out. And, it might be a game that you might want to pick up. Or, if you disagree with me, if you play one of these games and you disagree, let me know. I mean, obviously everyone has a different opinion. These are my top favorite games of 2020. I know there are tons and dozens of other games that were amazing, but these are the games that I have played, and most of them have really shocked me, and I have really, really enjoyed. So with that, let's go ahead and get started. I do have three honorable mentions because these three games are, I think, worth mentioning, but they would not crack into my top five for reasons that I'll explain. But they are definitely great games. So starting off, my first honorable mention would be the 3D Super Mario Brothers 3D All-Stars. I've always loved 3D Mario games. I've played Mario 64 and Sunshine. I have never played Galaxy. And with full disclosure, I've only played Galaxy on this set. I played it from start to finish while live streaming it, and it is the first game that I've completed from start to finish on a live stream, and just getting the joy of people watching it has been amazing. We have some really strange and fun clips with it, but Mario Galaxy was a surprise hit with me. I already knew I loved 3D Mario games, so why not? It is a perfect game. I think if you have never played one of the three games, it is definitely worth picking up. But if you've already played all three games, I honestly think you should pass on it. And they didn't really do anything too special with the collection. But I think if you have never played one, you should definitely pick it up. It's never going to go on sale, so you either have to plunge now or just never play it. But my second honorable mention would definitely be Fall Guys. I got this game on PlayStation when it first came out when it was first released, when it was on PlayStation Plus. So I did get it for free. And after that very first round, I can tell that this is a game that I would absolutely love. I am not big into Battle Royale games, but this is a game after just getting down and then the thrill and the anxiety of getting that crown when you get to the final is something that never goes away. No matter how many crowns you got, no matter how many times you played, it is one of those things that is just absolutely thrilling. Playing with friends is fun. It's a time to just chill out and hang out and just go for it. I mean, there's nothing that you can do to really help you win, but it is one of those things that is just amazing feeling, and I will absolutely love Fall Guys. It's one of those games you can always leave, come back later, and just pick up and just play a few rounds, and it is amazing. My last honorable mention is definitely got to be Among Us. I know this game came out a few years ago, but it definitely, I think, blew up when it was a big streaming game in the fall of 2020. And with all disclosure, I think it's only amazing when you play with people that you know or that you can get a voice chat with. I've only ever played one game with random people online, and I did not like it at all because I didn't want to type out my responses or anything like that. But if you can play with a group of friends and just hang out, that social deduction and then the mystery of trying to figure out who is killing people is amazing. And when you're the imposter and you pull off that final perfect round, oh man, it feels so good. But with that, we're gonna go start my top five. Number 5 is Hades, and I am really ashamed of myself that I was late on the Hades game. I just got Hades and I've only played a few hours, and I absolutely love it. It is almost perfection. if you like roguelike games and you like slow increments of increasing your character, and the art style of it is just, oh man, it's chef's kiss right there. That is perfect. I just love going through, upgrading my weapons. I haven't even unlocked all of them, and I think that is why it's number 5 on my list. When I play more hours onto it and I get farther into the game and unlock all the different weapons and how you can upgrade them, this might creep up. This might creep up and go maybe to top 3, but we will see how that goes. But for right now, if you like this art style, it is definitely a game I would recommend. Number 4 on the list is Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Oh boy, I love Assassin's Creed games. I love the old ones, but when they started to switch over to this new RPG kind of style with Origins and then Odyssey, I fell in love. I played Origins probably for about 70 to 80 hours. Odyssey, I think my game file has 158 hours on it. And I already know I will be playing Valhalla for even more than that. Well into 2021, I will be playing Valhalla. I absolutely love this game. The gameplay of it, the rating, the Norway and England, I just love the setting. It is one of the perfect settings for me and my taste. So if you aren't really into the Viking Age and kind of going through there, it might be a game that you might have liked Odyssey or Origins more. But this one, I think they have just built on what they did so well with Odyssey and kind of took it up a notch. And I think the combat just feels, it's more slow paced than Odyssey, but it is more rewarding. And when you get those vicious kills and you're chopping someone's head off, or you're cutting their arm is flying, it is one of those games that it just feels good. The upgrading your settlement part, it's a good addition. I don't know if it really pushes the game even more. Like, it's a positive, but it's not pushing the game even better. Just the storyline, exploring the open world, not really knowing what you're going to get into with the side quests, the characters you meet. I think this game, above Odyssey and Origins, the characters you meet are so much better. It's better written, better side quests, and it is just great. I love it. I'm not one to really stealth in the new Assassin's Creed games. I like to just go in and just axe ablazing and just kill. But I try to get into all 3 kind of sections of the game just to experience it. But I like that you gotta get the freedom of playing how you want to play, and you're not really losing out on any kind of experiences with the game. So it is definitely one of the games I would recommend. If you haven't picked it up by now, honestly, it's only going to get better. Once they release DLC and everything like that, the game is just going to get better. So it's one of those things of, if you waited by now, you probably should just wait, and maybe it'll go on sale and you can pick it up. But if you are even on the fence of, man, do I want to play Valhalla? The answer is hell yes. It is so fun. So it is a game that I would highly recommend. And it is one of the games that is just, it is great. It does have its flaws, so it is not perfect. By no means it's a perfect game, but it is, the pros on it greatly outweigh the cons, and it is just fantastic. Moving on to my number 3 game of 2020, which, if you know me, or if you come to my live streams, or if you talk to me in Discord, or if you're a friend, you are going to be extremely shocked at my number 3 game would be Animal Crossing New Horizons. Oh man, I know this is going to be a very big shock, and I could probably talk about Animal Crossing New Horizons for hours. I promise you I will not do that here, but it is a very, very big shock for me. I have never played an Animal Crossing game before New Horizons. I picked it up in May, and I think for New Horizons, I think it came out at the very perfect time of the year where a lot of places were shut down, lockdown was happening in a lot of places, and it's just a perfect game to just chill and play, a few hours each day and progress from there. I think the few things that I love about Animal Crossing New Horizons is the different. It's a very simple game, but it can be very complex if you want it to be. If you want it to stay simple, you can just fish and catch bugs, finish your museum, get to 3 stars, terraform a little bit, make a river down your island, put some items, decorate like a village home, and everything like that. And that would be very perfect. And you could play that for 150, 160 hours and have no problems at all. And if you want to really dive deep into the complexity of game, then you can start, really pushing the boundaries of your design and outside of how you want to build an elaborate waterfall or sunken waterfall, or in my case, I built like an oasis museum that I absolutely just love. And you can transform your island into these very elaborate scenes. You can recreate places from around the world, or you can just, whatever comes to your mind, you can just use your creativity and just create it in the game. And it is just absolutely just amazing. And I just think it is one of those games that really took me by surprise. And I'm just absolutely in love with it. I think the biggest positive of the game is the sense of community. I mean, if you haven't played Animal Crossing New Horizons, or if you play it now and you're not a part of a Discord or a community of people that love Animal Crossing, I would highly, highly recommend it. I mean, you can join any streamer's Discord that plays Animal Crossing, and I'm pretty sure it's the same thing no matter where you go. It's just such a positive and encouraging community and environment that it just kind of breeds creativity, and then you want to kind of push the boundaries. You see someone do something and you just want to make something bigger or better, and it is absolutely fantastic. Besides the gameplay, just the friends you meet, I feel like I've met people in Animal Crossing New Horizons that I will talk to or be friends with even beyond New Horizon when the game ends. I mean, like I mentioned earlier, with Among Us or Fall Guys, the people that I play Among Us and Fall Guys with is people that I've met in New Horizons this year, and I consider them friends. And I just think the sense of community is just amazing in this game. So if you are thinking about Animal Crossing New Horizons, or if you play it and you're mostly playing by yourself, you're just doing a very big disservice with jumping into a community, meeting people. I promise you, it is much more intimidating jumping in than it actually is. People are so nice in Animal Crossing. I think it is one of the most positive fan base that you can find in any game that I could even think of. So if you're thinking about Horizons, or if you already play it, you're probably going to hate me that I put it at number 3. But at that point, it is my number 3 game of 2020. Moving on to number 2 is Ghost of Tsushima. I love this game for a lot of the reasons what I mentioned with Assassin's Creed Valhalla. The world is just absolutely amazing. I think this game is very similar to my thoughts on Assassin's Creed, but I think they do everything just slightly better than Valhalla. I think the story is amazing. The setting, it just makes you feel like you're in Japan and that you are a samurai, and it is just so visceral, and I love it. I think the thing that I don't. I think the game is extremely good. I think it's a 9.5 out of 10. And the reason why I don't think it's a 10 is because the combat can get a little repetitive, but the story and the people you meet and the side quests and the sense of exploration really makes it. Those pros are so much better than any of the cons in the game. I think the exploration of the winds blowing, or the leaves blowing in the wind, and to show you where you need to go for your next quest, or you see a bird and you have to follow it to a shrine, or a fox to a shrine. The birds bring you to items, and the foxes bring you to shrines. Is just absolutely great. And I've never played a game where I just want to I don't even care about the main story. I just like to just get on my horse and just ride into the forest and just see where it takes me. It is one of those games that I will definitely play in 2021 and probably beyond, because if they ever come out with new quests or DLC or anything like that, I think it is one of those things that I will always go back to. It is just a fantastic game. And if you haven't played Ghost of Tsushima yet, and you like that time period, and with samurai and Japan, you will there. Well, I don't. If you like those things, I don't even know why you haven't played the game yet in the first place. But if you're thinking about it, you should definitely get it, because it is just so special and so awesome. And just amazing. So it is one of the best games you can definitely play. Moving on though, my number one game of 2020, which is going to be very, very controversial, and I know it. And if you're on the other side, please don't hate me. It's definitely The Last of Us Part 2. I loved The Last of Us Part 2. I was a big fan of the first Last of Us. I don't think Last of Us, I'm not naive. I don't think The Last of Us Part 2 is a overall better story than Part 1. I definitely think the story in Part 1 is way better than Part 2. But I think what really sold me on Part 2 is it won me over. It made me feel, it changed my emotions and feeling towards the game, towards the end of it. And I was not expecting that. Like, I know the part of the game where everyone hates. I even hate it. I understand it. And then when they make you play as Abby, oh my God, I wanted the game to end. I was like, please just give me away. I just want to play as Ellie. I'm okay with what happened now, and I just want to play as Ellie. I don't even care about her. I don't want to see her face. I don't want to be her. But getting to know Abby and then going through the storyline, it won me over. I started feeling, I understood her and from her perspective, and I wanted to, it made me actually enjoy playing as Abby. It makes I think the biggest thing that won me over is the better weapons and gameplay is from Abby's side than Ellie, even though she's more stealth-like. And I loved just the aspect of going back and forth, and then you're kind of getting both sides of this kind of story that they're trying to tell. It is definitely not if I was writing it, it is not a way that I would take it personally. And I know a lot of people feel that way, but it's one of those things. It's like movies. I mean, you're going to get some people that love it, and you're going to get some people that disagree with it. And just because the story is not the way you would have done it doesn't necessarily mean it's absolute garbage. And I can see it, and I understand it, and I appreciate it for what it is. When it comes to the story part of it, I definitely, if I were to put Part 1 story at a 10 out of 10, I would probably put Part 2 story maybe a 6 out of 10 or 7. So, I don't think it is by no stretch like a very perfect game, but the story really it was just an emotional roller coaster for me. And when I finished it, and when I tell you this, I had to work the next morning, and I finished at like 2 a.m. and I have no idea why I did this. I sat there and just stared at my monitor for like 30 minutes. Like, what just happened to me? Because it was an emotional roller coaster. And when I step back and think about it, there's not that many games that can just do that to you, like have that kind of um, emotional attachment to. And it's similar to part one. And it's just one of those things of whether you love it or hate it. For me, that's how I felt leaving it. And I don't, I understand the negativity towards it, but for me, I had a different experience with it, and I just loved it. It was a great story, not a masterpiece, but what pushed it over the top for me and why it's my number one game of 2020 is the gameplay. The gameplay is perfect. It is so fun, and I love the gunplay on it. I love the stealth play. I think the stealth play is just perfect. I know I mentioned it earlier about Assassin's Creed games, the old ones. The stealth play was just so slow and methodical. This stealth play in Last of Us Part 2, it just seems like it's more on your edge, or it's more fast-paced stealth play. And oh man, I loved it. I love sneaking up on enemies, stabbing them, trying to hide dragging them, and then just go one by one and just try to kill everyone. Which sounds terrible, but in this world, it really makes sense. And I think for that, it's just got to be why it's my number one game of 2020, because I know in the future I will come back to it at the end of 2021 and play it through again, whether it's for the story or whether it's just for the gameplay. 2022, I can go back and play it again and just kind of relive those moments. And even though I know what's coming, I can still enjoy it personally. And that's just a personal take on it. But with that wraps up our top 5 games with 3 honorable mentions of 2020. It has been a very challenging year, a very terrible year personally for everyone. But when it comes to games, there has been some absolute treasures this year. And I think it is one of those years that years down the road, I'll look back, and what I will think the most of this year will be the games that came out. And I know the pandemic is going to be, obviously it's going to go into next year, and hopefully it doesn't take over the whole year like 2020, so we can have some more positivity in our personal lives. But for gaming wise, I think it's been a great year. And with that, what I was thinking though with it is maybe making a video on my top 5 anticipated games of 2021. So if you would like to see that, like I mentioned earlier, please let me know. I think there's some, like I mentioned, I think there's some gems that can really is going to be a surprise for a lot of people, unless they get pushed back to 2022. So if you'd like to see that, let me know. With that, please be safe. I hope your 2020 was okay. I know I don't think anyone's was great. But with that, I wish you the very best 2021. Let's kick the year off with positive vibes. Everyone, please be nice and kind to everyone. It really does spread, and it makes the world a little bit better. So with that, have a wonderful day. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for watching this video and for any of the support, whether it is coming to any of the live streams or just chatting in Discord. If you would like to join us over on the Twitch, the streams are chaotic and fun and interactive, to say the least. The link will be in the description of the video. It's also twitch.tv/Argo227. But with that, thank you very much. Have a wonderful day, and I will talk to you soon. Bye-bye. It doesn't matter what you think, 'cause I won. It doesn't matter what you think, 'cause I won.